Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Shailesh SH. Today we are going to discuss the most important topic, that is law of chemical combination. Before that, we'll go for the quote of the day, that is, success is not about how talented you are, but how determined you are. Simply having the talent, it won't work for you people. Keep in mind how much you are working, how much you are struggling to get something. That only end of the day matters a lot. With respect to that, we'll go for the today's topic, that is law of chemical combination. In this, we are going to discuss the 5 to 6 important laws, that is law of conservation of mass, law of definite proportion, law of multiple proportion, and Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volume. And after that, we'll discuss the actually law of reciprocal proportion, and last one, Avogadro's law. This is all about we are going to discuss now. So in the law of chemical combination, we'll discuss the 5 important laws, that is law of conservation of mass, law of definite proportion, law of multiple proportion, Gay-Lussac law of gaseous volume. Last one is Avogadro's law. So first we'll start with the law of conservation of mass. In the class 10th, we have discussed that law of conservation of mass is nothing but mass can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transferred from one body to another body or one form to another form. This much we have discussed. But here, when it comes to the class 11th, mass of reactant is equal to mass of product in the chemical reaction. We call it as law of conservation of mass. We have to remember total mass of the reactant is equal to total mass of the product during any physical or chemical reaction. We call it as law of conservation of mass. So what do you mean by this? Here also you can understand with the diagram how much amount of reactant is there, that much amount of product is there. Then only both are balanced, right? We'll understand with the example one by one, then you may understand better way. First point, take a calcium carbonate. It will dissociate it as calcium oxide plus CO2, right? Calcium oxide molecular weight is how much? 100 gram. Then calcium 40, oxygen 16, right? Then how much? 56. Carbon 12 plus oxygen 32. How much? 44. Add both. How much you will get again? 100 only, no? You need to understand that how much amount of reactant is there? 100 gram. That is equal to amount of product. Here it understood that. Here it proved that law of conservation of mass exists. I hope it's clear. Same thing, you can go for one more reaction. N2 plus H2. We know that we will get ammonia. But important thing here, you need to understand that. Now you find out the mass of N2. Is it 2 into 14? Is it 2 into 1? These are reactant only. Mass of reactant, right? Mass of reactant supposed to be equal to mass of product. So here, mass of reactant 28 plus 2. How much we got? 30. Here you check. 14 nitrogen, 3 into 1 hydrogen. So we got total 17. Are they both equal here? Is it 17 equal to 30? Obviously not. Means law of conservation of is not exist. But here exist. When balancing the reaction is most important one in the law of conservation of reaction. Balancing the reaction, if you done, then their law of conservation of exist. How, sir? Here it is not existed, right? You just change small in the value that N2 is reacted with hydrogen, which gives ammonia. Hydrogens 3 are there. Here I need to multiply with 2, then I get 6 hydrogen, 2 nitrogen. Therefore 2 nitrogens is there. Then here also 6 hydrogen. Now it is balanced. Now you can add the value 6 into 1 mass of hydrogen. Then N2 is 2 into 14, right? You will get 28, which is equal to 2 times of 17. You can mention 34. Here 28 plus 6 is how much? This is also 34 only, no? Now both reactant is equal to product. Therefore here law of conservation of mass exists. So if you didn't balance the reaction, it won't show the law of conservation of mass. But if you balance the reaction, then law of conservation of mass exists. Three important points are there here. You have to remember that this law of conservation of mass. Second point, law of conservation of mass not applicable in the case of nuclear reaction. Why? Anyone can tell me? Because a significant amount of mass क्या होता है यहाँ पे converted into energy. Do you know E is equal to mc square? Because of this reason, it is not applicable to the nuclear reactions. But it is applicable in the case of exothermic reaction. You keep in mind this one. Exothermic reaction. Why? Because conversion of mass into energy is very less. It is significant. Therefore, here it is applicable, but in the nuclear reaction, law of conservation of mass do not exist. Keep in mind this one, right? So, we'll discuss one more problem based on the law of conservation of mass. They are asking, find out the mass of calcium oxide when it is dissociated from calcium carbonate. See, we have the reaction. Given data, you mentioned first 20 gram of calcium carbonate. How much mass of calcium oxide we don't know. Carbon dioxide they given 0.2 gram. So according to the law of conservation of mass, what it says, total mass of reactant is equal to total mass of product. So with the help of this only we can easily find out the mass of calcium oxide. Mass of reactant is how much they given? Reactant is calcium carbonate. Product is calcium oxide plus CO2. So can I equate both? 0.2. Now I need to find out mass of calcium oxide means can I write X is equal to 20 minus 0.2. So here you will get 19.8 gram of what? Calcium oxide. This is how we will find out the mass of product or reactant with the help of law of conservation of mass. Take it as a second one as a homework, but I will give a hint here. They given the sodium bicarbonate reactant, they added to acetic acid. So we can write like this. Now react both sodium will combine and replace with the hydrogen, then we will get sodium acetate plus water plus CO2. This is the mass. They have mentioned for 10.6 gram sodium bicarbonate, 30 gram acetic acid. The residue is found to weight as 36 gram. What is the mass of CO2 they are asking? Residue means remaining part, 36 gram we got. Then what is the mass of X they are asking? Try to find out, you will get the answer. Thank you.